Hello and welcome to the Suburbanites Podcast. I'm Connor.
Oh, I'm Jack.
And I'm Fran.
And we have a lot to talk about this week in terms of movies.
A lot of stuff, Connor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to, before we get to the big movie that Jack and I both saw this week, I want to talk about Chappie, because Jimmy, what?
No, just Chappie.
Jimmy was talking about it a couple weeks ago, and he was like, quote, "It was a use of $11. That is the best he could say about it.
Yep.
And I don't know, I kind of agree with him.
Yeah.
It wasn't a terrible movie.
I'm glad I saw it. You know,
Yeah.
It made me think. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fran, do you know Neil Blomkamp at all? District 9 guy?
Yes.
Yeah. Chappie
Okay.
is his new movie. And
Oh gosh, what's it about?
It's about a robot who gets AI essentially, and that's the main thing. But then there's a bunch of other crappy subplots involving Hugh Jackman being a religious nut.
Oh, that is a use of $11.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
Hugh Jackman's accent, though, just spectacular.
I'll pay $11 to see
honestly.
Hugh Jackman's accent.
Mm-hmm.
Which
And his
accent did
mullet.
you do?
It was Australian.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
New Zealand, Australia.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Is
But
it still
same
in
difference.
theaters?
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
I would not recommend seeing it in theaters, though. I can't, in good conscience, recommend that.
Wait till Netflix?
Yes, wait till Netflix, absolutely. And I mean, there's not really much to say about it.
No, yeah.
It was just kind of there.
Mm-hmm.
The writing was, I mean, Neil Blomkamp would be so much better if he, didn't write his own movies.
Yeah.
If he just directed his own movies, it'd be great.
I have the character Chappie was just interesting to follow.
Absolutely.
Other than that, the movie was meh
Yeah.
for me. I don't know.
He knows how to direct. He can
Yeah.
direct the hell out of, a climax scene.
Yeah, you were talking about that. That one where it's just Chappie's walking out. I was getting pumped. I was standing
There's
in
a
my seat.
badass
Oh my
scene where
God.
Chappie walks out with a gun, and he, cocks the gun, and it's really cool.
Yep.
He's a robot, and he's been, a recluse and stuff the entire movie. He's been, a pacifist.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And he just walks out with a gun, and it's all slow motion and cool.
So iconic movie scene
Yeah.
of just reveal. Yeah.
That was kind of the best part of the movie.
Yes.
Honestly. That one shot of Chappie, walking out and cocking the gun.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
But I wanted to get to the real movie that we saw, It Follows.
I have to admit, I only saw half of it. I just...
You covered your eyes for the other half?
you were sitting next to me. I was covering my eyes, the
I
entire
artfully
time.
got out of going to this one.
Yeah.
Because horror movies and I are not friends.
Did you watch the trailer at least?
No.
Don't watch the trailer.
You should watch the trailer.
It's too scary.
It's
No.
awesome.
No.
Mm.
It's a movie about AIDS. I mean,
Super 8s.
it's a metaphor for AIDS. It's about this girl who has sex with this guy, and then the guy tells her, now that you've had sex with me, you have this curse that basically makes it so this demon thing follows you around.
Yeah, fun night.
It walks very slowly and deliberately towards you, and it takes the form of a human being.
Mm-hmm.
Any human being.
What?
Yeah. Horrifying.
That's actually terrifying.
I still can't sleep.
The way that
I've been up for 48 hours.
Munchkin.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yes. It's not okay.
But I thought that it would get tired after a while. I was like, oh, this thing walking slowly towards her. I thought it would just become
Terrifying? Always terrifying?
Yeah, it would not stop. It was
Ugh.
because the way the director did it is because it would have become tired if he just did jump scare after jump scare.
Yeah.
Right.
But he didn't.
No, yeah, he just did a great job at recreating that tension.
Yeah.
Just constantly.
The movie is mainly about paranoia.
Yeah.
There are very few actual jump scares, but just the thought of this thing always coming for her.
Yeah. And then also the 80s music was surprisingly it fit
Point.
so well.
Yeah.
It's on point.
What do we compare it to? We said a synthesized Psycho. That's what we said.
Yeah,
A
exactly.
synthesized Psycho
So
soundtrack.
what, when they did Gatsby with modern music and it just worked?
Yeah. Yeah, they basically did that, but with
It
80s.
sounds like it
more.
reminded me of the classic Psycho soundtrack from the Hitchcock movies, but electronic kind of 80s synthesized.
Yeah.
And the movie had a very
Interesting.
80s feel to it.
Interesting. Did it have a set time frame?
It was I thought it was 80s. 'cause
80s,
the kids
early 90s.
Yeah, the kids were driving these cars that were kind of old-ish.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair.
But the director, my favorite part about the movie was the director would do these really cool 360 shots. And he would station the camera in one point, and then he would move the camera around a bunch of times, and the environment would so you got used to the environment, but then he would introduce something into the environment that would raise the tension.
Alter it a little bit,
Yeah. So there was like a scene where they were at the school, and he would rotate the camera, and you'd see the courtyard through a window,
Right.
and you'd see the lockers in the hallway,
Okay.
and then you'd see the office where the main character was talking to this person.
Okay.
And then he would swivel it around, and you'd see this thing at the beginning gradually walking very slowly at the back of the courtyard.
Yeah.
And he swiveled the camera around 4 or 5 times, and it would gradually get closer every single time.
Yeah.
It was terrifying.
And also just his
No.
close-ups, like, so the whole idea, but what makes this scarier is that only the person with this curse can see the monster.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
that's
people
the
who have had the curse
And
can
who
also
has
Okay.
had the curse, yeah. And so whenever he did a close-up on this person's face, like, he was just saying, like, something's going to happen
Yeah.
because you're seeing what she sees
Yep.
now.
I mean, like, at this point, you just kind of hire a prostitute and you give it to someone else. You
that
just-
that was contemplated.
Yep.
Except it was contemplated by the moral center of the group.
Yeah.
And so he was like, no, don't do that.
because then you have to knowingly give it to someone. But, like, then, like, you're knowingly giving it to anyone.
It's true. That's what the guy did to the main character in the first place.
Yep.
Like,
And
you
he
know that
tied
you're
her up.
doing this.
He tied her up in a wheelchair. This isn't spoilers. This is all in the trailer.
Yeah.
He tied her up to a wheelchair and said, "Look, I'm not bullshitting you. This thing actually exists." And he tied her up to a wheelchair and like showed her that this thing was walking towards her.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Is
Horrifying.
it, like, behind them or is it, like, in front of them?
It can be anywhere,
It could be anywhere.
but it will just always walk towards you.
And what's its end game? Does it just
Kills you.
screw with you? Oh.
That was
We're
a
not
good
gonna
thing,
spoil
yeah.
it. We're not gonna spoil what
Okay.
actually happens. Just know that it kills you.
Yeah, that's it.
That's terrifying.
Horrifying.
Yeah.
One of the most terrifying movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's, I think, the third horror movie I've seen, and I think it's ruined it for me.
But-
I'm not watching that
Like, I
genre.
saw Woman in Black and I thought that was bad.
I didn't see that movie.
Oh, it's a great movie.
It's Daniel Radcliffe.
It's-
It's Harry Potter.
It's okay. Like, the thing with Woman in Black, fun little segue. Like, it's really good, but, like, I can't do horror movies, so I watched it for production concept.
Right.
And production concept, like, it is amazing. Like, they have black and white, and they create, like, this amazing dichotomy between the two. And then, like, there's, like, gray at, like, certain points, and, like, it makes sense in the movie. But just, like, terrible. Like, she just appears in corners, places, like...
A lot of jump scares.
Not even really jump scares. There's probably only, like, 5 to 7 in the movie.
Right.
It's just the fact that, like, you know what she does, and you, like, there's, like, little clues that give it away the entire time. So, like, you, the audience, knows what's gonna happen, but, like, the characters have no idea that she's, like, planning this the entire time. And just, like, there's one area in my house that just, like, the shadows are the wrong way. And, like, 3 years later,
There's
I'm
always
still
that,
just
yeah.
like,
Yep.
where?
There's always that one point in your house where you're like, this reminds me of a horror movie.
Yep.
But, like, I actually had trouble sleeping after seeing
Yes,
It Follows.
I did. And I didn't think
Horror
it,
movies
it
never
would.
get to me that
Yeah.
much.
Oh, they do for me.
Like, I
Yeah.
see my fair share of horror movies. And I never put my feet up in seats for movie theaters, but I was hugging my knees.
Yep.
I was like, yeah, it was, oh my gosh. But it was amazing.
Yeah.
I know that you hate horror movies, Jack.
I can respect it for what it
You
was.
can't doubt that it was an
Yeah.
amazing movie.
And just some, like, beautiful shots as well.
Absolutely. And the director, like, he intentionally strayed from the norm in terms of normal horror movies.
Yeah.
Like, he made himself different in the way in which he approached the movie and directed the movie.
Yeah, and it terrified me beyond
Yeah.
belief.
It's
And the thing was, like,
horrifying movie.
we left that theater and we were like, oh, I'm not that scared. Like, I don't have the
manageable.
curse. Yeah, exactly. But when I, like, tried to go to sleep, I'm like, no, I can't do
It's
this.
like the figure is like you might say to yourself, oh well, it's like it's this thing slowly walking towards you. It's not intimidating at all. But like they find it's not even like stupidity of the characters either, because that's a huge thing in horror movies.
Yeah.
I was like, oh well, they're just gonna intentionally get themselves into these situations in which they're confined. But it's like it's not. It always makes sense writing wise and for the characters why they're in these kind of like these houses or these close quarter situations
Yeah.
in which this kind of claustrophobia and paranoia sets in, because it's like it could be really easy for them to just like intentionally lock themselves inside of a house
Right.
with no exit so this thing gets them. But it's like it's done well.
Yeah.
So, like, what is it? When it finally gets to you, it does whatever? Or,
Yeah, it kills
Or
you.
is that a plot thing? Okay. So what, you have to just consistently run away from it?
Yes.
Always.
Or sleep with somebody else and pass it on.
Yeah.
But the characters are like teenagers and they have morals.
Yeah.
True. And I mean, like, I feel like if you're that level of scared all the time, you're not going to be trying to find people.
Exactly, yeah.
And in the time frame that it would take to pass it on to someone, the thing probably would kill you.
Yep. And or like they wouldn't believe you. They wouldn't believe you, and the way that it works is if it kills somebody, it moves to the next person, the person who had it before.
Yeah, it's just awful.
Oh, you can't get... Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
So you just have to... Oh, my gosh. You're, like, never safe, too.
Never.
Because, like,
never safe.
If it gets, like, all, like, 5 people into session before you, it goes back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it could be, like, 20 years later.
And it's like, I thought that the trailer gives the implication that it's going to be really heavy-handed in its like, STD metaphor. I didn't think it was. I thought it was handled well.
It wasn't too subtle, and I mean, it's just...
It wasn't
nice.
too subtle,
yeah.
but it wasn't too in-your-face.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't just, like, AIDS 24/7. It was just... Yeah.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Because it worked on multiple levels, because it's like, at its base, it's a horror movie.
Right.
But it's like, you think about it, and it's like, obviously it's a metaphor for AIDS, but it's like, that's because you have to think about that it's a metaphor for AIDS, rather than it being pushed in your face the entire movie.
Did the director come out and say, like, this is a metaphor for AIDS, or is it just like people have imposed it?
I don't think so, but I mean, it's pretty obvious.
You can get it, like, immediately that it's AIDS.
Like, watching the trailer, it seems like it's going to be really heavy-handed, but it's not.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, I'm gonna go ahead and give some spoiler warnings for Inception here, or not Inception, Interstellar. Sorry.
Interstellar.
So if you haven't seen Interstellar, tune out. Have you seen Interstellar, friend? Yeah. Okay. So Christopher Nolan.
Physics major.
Christopher Nolan came out and said that there was an original ending that his brother, Jonathan Nolan, I believe, who writes all his movies for him, had written, and then he went back and he changed it, and it's like, better. I think it's way better.
What's the actual ending?
The ending that was originally proposed before Nolan it up was, spoilers again, Matthew McConaughey deploys into the black hole and dies.
Yes, which is what would happen.
And Tars also dies. And
which one's Tars?
the robot.
See,
the
for
robot
me,
that is sent in there.
that's more Nolan. Like,
it's more Nolan. It's exactly, and it's like the entire movie he's trying to keep with this theme of like space being so like unforgiving and brutal, and it's like,
and also works. It's just like that's more like Nolan's always. It's a realistic thing.
Yeah,
like he can do whatever he wants. Like he can go in space or like with these dream machines, but he will make it realistic. And I thought like I really liked the movie, but we were talking about this earlier. I did think it should have ended earlier.
Yeah,
and if he just cut it. Like with the black hole thing, like the audience can think whatever they want.
Exactly, it would have been
but it's
more...
just he leaves it as a realistic.
Yeah, it would have been more
portrayal.
Nolan.
Yeah,
if he
exactly.
like deployed into the black hole and it just cut.
Yeah,
that's what you were saying.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
what I expected it to happen. Like I was like, oh, this is awesome. And
I would have thought that would have been a better
there.
ending.
Yeah,
but I don't know. The thing was like, isn't it? He goes into the black hole and then the whole thing of being in the wormhole and going back. But like, that's the thing that pulls the entire plot together. So, like, at the same time, like, yeah, but then you're leaving on a cliffhanger and the movie doesn't make sense anymore.
I mean, yeah.
Because, like, her entire thing is, like, don't they, like, they predispose it earlier on that she ends up saving humanity because she gets them to wherever.
Yeah.
So you would have that completely open. You'd have to find another way to close that, and the only way to close
you
that
would
is
have
using
to,
the clues.
You would have to,
that
like...
he goes back and puts. So, like, it's one of those things that it's kind of, can he really do that? But if he
you would have to modify the plot.
Which I think he could do. No, if I could trust Nolan with that.
But then like Nolan apparently read this and was like, nah. And he just wrote all that ridiculous stuff with him in the wormhole and controlling time and love and
because
bullshit.
like one of the themes of the movie was just
Cynic.
like time and like love and like how things are connected through time and space. So if you're pulling that out, like that's the point of the movie is, you know, different forces in the universe and how they interact and how something on another level could interact with us and we wouldn't know because we don't understand that as an energy force.
Yeah, because what did they say, like time is another dimension for them or something?
Time is another dimension, like in general, like that's a physics property. Time,
Fran getting physicsy on us.
Yeah, time is technically, it's the fourth dimension, but also they're starting to consider it more as just like a measurement of things. Like it doesn't actually exist. It's more like if you're saying distance, like I am further away from this door that I would be if I was standing near it. It's the same thing with time. It's like you are closer to an event than you would be later on. And it's just you can't, or like you are so close to something in the future and you're approaching it. But you're never like, you can never go back and you can never go forward.
Right. Makes sense.
Unless you have the power of love.
Unless love. Right?
Unless gravity.
Unless Matthew McConaughey loves Anne Hathaway.
Yep.
In that case, shattered.
Yeah, that's the lesson of the last 20 minutes of the movie, I think.
Yeah.
True.
I did not care for the ending of that movie at all whatsoever.
But you thought the rest was amazing.
I thought it was really
amazing.
Good. The first half is
amazing.
Great. We were talking about it earlier, and I said the first half of that movie is great. The second half of that movie is pretty mediocre. So overall, it's a really good movie for me.
Only thing with that movie is you can't watch it when you haven't slept or had food or had water.
Because you need to.
Well,
Because
front
it's 3
row
hours.
of an IMAX
And
thing. Yeah.
front row of an IMAX theater that has a concave screen that makes you feel like you are there. Also, wasn't it 3D too?
No, it was not.
No,
Wait, you guys saw it in
3D?
IMAX?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm
Yeah.
jealous.
It was
I
awesome.
was not having
Front
it.
row, Connor. No.
Second row.
Second row.
I would hate to be front row of IMAX. I'd be
It's-
looking
It
up
was
the entire
horrible.
time.
And
It's awful.
Oh my god! Like
I
you
saw
feel
Wolf
like
of Wall Street, like opening
strippers
night,
everywhere.
and it was like I was in the very front of the biggest theater at our local AMC, so I was
my
like
God.
looking up the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Strippers everywhere.
Boobs. Yeah.
Actually, I haven't seen the movie yet. I can't say that. But
Oh, it's a great
I know.
movie.
That's a correct.
No, yeah, you got it right. So
From what I've picked up.
Yeah.
So everybody got really hyped yesterday. Yesterday being the Saturday that before this comes out.
Yep.
That there was a Freddie Mercury biopic coming out, and Sacha Baron Cohen, aka Borat or Bruno, was going to play Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
And everybody got really hyped because that would be awesome.
That would be
How
great.
awesome would that be? He looks exactly like Freddie Mercury.
It would depend. Are they trying to make it like serious though?
I would
at
imagine they're
times, or
trying to make it
just-
serious.
I can't take him seriously.
I can't. Yeah, just
Yeah.
things from Borat
What?
come back.
I'd be psyched. but-
Like him arranging the furniture and like having people pretend to be furniture. Like that's all I'd see.
Yeah.
But apparently, the Queen's manager came out and said, "Yeah, I was misquoted on that." So the internet blew up
Whoops.
based on a misquote.
Aw, that's just very common though.
Yeah. Apparently they had already made a biopic, but they were going to like redo it or something. Something like that.
Yeah.
It was complicated. But how awesome would that have been to see Sacha Baron Cohen
I
be
would have
Freddie
paid
Mercury?
to see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the mustache, really. Like,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And we got some Batman vs Superman news finally.
What?
Not Marvel news. Yes.
Suck it, Marvel.
Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor.
It's beautiful.
It is quite beautiful. Have you seen the picture?
No.
Pull it
Amazing.
up for
Pull it
her.
up. Yeah.
But he's bald, as Lex Luthor is.
I honestly, like, when I first heard Jesse Eisenberg was Lex Luthor, I didn't think it was going to work with him bald. I thought they were just going to make a young Lex Luthor just like, oh, he's got hair, so that's cool. But
If they made him with hair, I would have rioted.
Oh, no,
Ah.
I
it
would've
would have
thrown
been
chairs.
horrible, but I couldn't imagine Jesse Eisenberg bald. That
Yeah.
was my thing. Like, I can't
Jesse
do it.
Eisenberg, man.
He's going to kill it.
People think that he's just kind of like a second-rate Michael Cera, but he's been in some stuff.
Yeah. No,
Like,
he's awesome.
One of my favorite movies this year, The Double. He was
Still
the
need to see it.
lead-in,
Yeah.
and he plays this doppelganger. Like he plays himself essentially, but two different versions of himself. Like there's like the quiet, reserved him, and there's the more energetic and like quirky him. And so he had to like do both of those roles. And
I love him. Oh wow.
These aren't the right
yeah,
ones.
and he was awesome in Adventureland. Granted, he was kind of
This isn't it.
he was kind of Michael Cera-y.
No, that's not it.
But yeah, Jesse Eisenberg, man can act.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just pulled up the picture here.
Mhm.
I'm hyped.
Interesting.
I'm both terrified and excited.
I'm actually very terrified,
Yeah.
but it works on him. Like it's scary, incredibly scary, but it works.
It's gonna be amazing. I'm actually I'm now more excited for Batman vs Superman than
I mean, I'm excited for it, but again, I've
I'm
said this on the
worried.
podcast before. I don't like Zack Snyder being the Joss Whedon of DC. It does not stack up.
True.
I'm still gonna pay for it.
I
I'm
will.
gonna
I'll
go to the
see
theaters.
it. I'll see it because I'm such a diehard DC fan.
Yeah.
But it's like I won't like it.
Yeah. You protest it.
Yeah. But it's like Zack Snyder is just not Joss Whedon, and they want him to be Joss Whedon.
They can't make him Joss Whedon.
You can't do that, yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting news.
No, I like it. Yeah, I'm psyched.
Yeah, I'm also. Fine. I'm psyched. Okay.
Except I'm worried about what they're doing with Wonder Woman. I'm glad that Aquaman is just a cameo.
Aquaman is confirmed,
man.
just a cameo.
Yeah.
Thank God.
But Jason Momoa, they had him in. I don't know if we talked about this before, but they had him in costume.
Yep.
And it looked awesome.
It does.
Hashtag Unite the Seven. That hashtag is so awesome. I was like, the Justice League, yes.
Excellent.
Oh, some like actual stuff about the Suburbanites I want to talk about. We recently just passed 500 plays
Snap.
on SoundCloud.
I did not know that.
Oh.
That happened like last week, but I forgot to mention it.
Huh.
Yeah. So thank you to people who listen. And also thank you to Arthur Fantasi
Thank you, Dad.
for supplying us with yet another microphone and yet another pop filter. So we have 3 pop filters and 3 microphones now.
He is wonderful.
He is wonderful. Awesome.
Yeah.
And he listens, so he'll hear this.
Hello.
And but now we're gonna like kind of expand on our audio quality. So each one of us is gonna get a mic rather than all 3 of us talking around one mic, and so that will be coming soon because I need to get a bunch of mounts for all those mics and stuff.
I never thought Suburbanites would be better, but just wow.
Audio quality is going to be even better than it is now.
The hype.
Stay tuned. So yeah, that's kind of a big deal. Again, thank you very much, Arthur Fantasi. We love you. So, Jack, we saw one of the best movies ever recently.
Yes, we did.
Commando, the
What?
Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Oh wow, what
From
is
the
that?
80s?
No, I haven't heard
It's
of
the
this.
manliest movie that
The
ever
manliest-
was.
It's essentially
the manliest man movie.
Yeah.
That's
it's
how it has
essentially Taken in the 80s
Oh,
with
dear.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
been. Of course. Is it better than Kindergarten Cop? That's the real question.
Yes. I'm sorry, yes.
It's
Yes?
tied for me.
Straight up.
Yes.
Kindergarten Cop is
You love
very near and dear to my heart because I basically grew up with that movie.
It's a wonderful movie.
I eat green berets for breakfast was a line that was said in this movie.
Yep.
I don't think
Remember when I
like forget
remember when I
this
said I
attitude.
kill you last? Yeah.
I
lied. And he kills the guy.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a tumor is a pretty good quote. It will never beat I eat green berets for breakfast.
That's true. But where I was going with this is that Commando is a movie that came out in the 80s. I don't know what year specifically, but
Fact checker.
yeah, fact checker Jack over here.
Oh.
Fact checker.
They were going to have a sequel for it. They were going to
Right.
Commando 2.
1985.
1985. So they were like in the near future after that, they were going to have a sequel for it. Turns out it just ended up being Die Hard.
Die Hard
Really?
was the sequel?
Well, it was like
The movie that went in its place.
yes, it's complicated because they wrote the script for it and then Arnold said he didn't want to do a sequel and then it kind of fell through, but then somebody took the script and I don't know if it became Die Hard or it was the basis for Die Hard. I don't know. It's essentially Die Hard. Arnold was going to be hired as private security for this firm, and so they're like, okay, pick the people you want for security. And then, so he does, he picks all these people, and then turns out that they're all terrorists. So Arnold has to take back this giant size skyscraper building from all these terrorists.
That's just terrible luck.
Yeah. So it's essentially, it was
Yeah,
Die
no,
Hard.
that's Die
It's
Hard.
Die Hard.
And you know what? I'm happy. If a movie has to replace Commando 2, I'd rather it be Die Hard.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm happy.
One historic action movie becomes another.
That
Yeah.
is the manliest movie I've ever heard.
Have you seen Predator? That is the manliest movie I've ever heard.
I have seen part of. No, I've seen Predators.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Predator,
right, yeah. You
I
saw
have not
Predator.
seen
Predator's
Predator.
better.
But it's so manly that Mike, who was on the podcast a while ago, and I, now whenever we see each other, do the handshake
You
from
do.
Predator, where
Predator.
it's Arnold and, that is not the handshake. Doing the Predator mouth is not the handshake.
No.
I was going to do a Predator noise, and then I thought better of it.
Thank you.
But it's where Arnold and the other guy, I forget his name, they, uh-oh. He goes, character's name, you son of a bitch. And then they both clasp arms and
Yeah.
flex.
Oh.
Because that was Arnold's Mr. Universe time.
Can you flex?
Huh?
Can you flex?
Yeah, I can flex.
that-
It's
oh.
something that I can do.
Huh.
I
Didn't
mean,
know that.
I'm not saying there's any muscle there.
Yeah.
But flexing, yeah, it's a muscle. Yeah.
So now
I
Mike
just
and
wasn't sure
I...
he had it.
Neurons.
No,
he's
I
got a
understand how
brain.
anatomy works, but
He's got
just
muscles. He's got a brain. He can flex. I mean,
Grr,
not
I'm
much. It's
jacked.
there.
I'm built.
Oh, you're jacked.
I'm jacked. See what I did there?
Ah,
But yeah, that's whenever Mike and I see each other, that's what we do now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I can see Mike doing that. His
He
Arnold
starts
voice.
it all the
So
time.
very
So
suburban.
he goes, Kana, you son of a bitch. Every time he starts it. And it's awesome. I gotta have Mike on again sometime.
You should.
Which one's
You should have him read his reviews.
Mike Lifshitz.
Hmm.
He was on our Oscars podcast.
He...
So, big news, because we're all really hyped. Spectre trailer. Have you seen the Spectre trailer yet?
No.
Literally equal amount of hype as the Star Wars trailer.
I
for me.
wouldn't say that.
I honestly am.
Terrible
Like,
question.
that's me.
But Spectre.
New
is-
James Bond movie.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I don't think she should be on the podcast.
Hey.
Can we just get rid of her?
No.
I was told that it
We
was
can't get rid of her halfway through.
I
We can.
I prepped pop culture things, not movie things.
Can we just? I don't know if it's working out.
Jack.
What?
I can hear you.
We can't fire her halfway through the podcast, Jack.
She doesn't know Spectre. Fine, back to Spectre.
Have you seen the new James Bond movie?
Yes, no, I have.
You've seen the Daniel Craig.
I didn't know.
She knows, Jack.
I know.
Stop being so mean.
I've seen Skyfall. I know.
So the same director as Skyfall,
Good.
Sam Mendes, is doing Spectre,
Amazing.
which is awesome because the directing in Skyfall is what put it above Casino Royale for me.
Oh, was this the thing that you were saying? James Bond might have a brother.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
It is
We're not sure, but
heavily
yes.
insinuated in the trailer that James Bond has a brother.
Yep.
Hype. So much
Evil
hype.
Twin.
Just hearing Christoph Waltz say words.
Yeah, as the villain.
And then they didn't show his face, which I actually am.
They didn't show.
I'm more happy.
He's probably
going
to have some sort of bodily scar.
Oh yeah.
Most Bond villains have a bodily scar.
If he had an eye patch, I think I would lose my shit.
Christoph Waltz with an eye patch. I wouldn't be able to take him seriously.
the most wonderful thing I think I've ever heard.
It would be spectacular. But just his voice, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't seen
was-
the Spectre trailer,
It was really cool, yeah.
it did a really good job at just
And the title
hyping
card?
it up. Yep.
The title card where it was like ice.
Yeah,
Because it's taking place in like the Alps, I think?
it's somewhere like that.
Yeah.
Mountains, French,
Yeah.
something.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I can't. And I'm glad we were watching. We just started a James Bond marathon.
That's right.
'cause
Last
now
night
I'm
we
getting even more
in
hyped.
celebration of the Spectre trailer, we watched Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace last night.
Yeah.
Are you watching Skyfall tonight?
Yes, we were watching Skyfall tonight.
Can I join?
We don't know, friend.
I don't know if we should invite her to Skyfall.
I mean,
Fine.
Why are you whispering?
I don't know.
It's weird.
I'm trying to. Okay.
anyway. So, yeah, we watched Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace last night. And Casino Royale was fantastic because it had been a long time since I've seen it.
And it's Casino Royale.
Yeah.
So
It's awesome.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
By nature.
Quantum of Solace, less awesome. But
I'm
still
glad I
okay.
gave it a second chance. That's all I'm saying. Is
Still okay, but significantly less awesome than Casino Royale.
Yes, yes.
But like, I think that the difference between Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace can show the influence that a director has on a movie.
Yeah.
Because
a
they're
lot.
so starkly different in the way that they're like, in the way that you're shown the shit, like the shit of the movie, and like as compared to Casino Royale.
Yeah.
Like you had the fast cuts, shaky cam stuff of Quantum of Solace, which the same director ended up doing World War Z.
Yeah.
And as we see in World War Z, the same thing happens.
Yep. Yeah, he
But-
just can't direct a chase scene.
He
That's
can't,
my
no.
thing. And you have to direct a chase scene well if you want to do a Bond movie.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
And
That's
Casino
pretty good
Royale,
qualification.
Yeah.
Casino Royale, you had a lot more like meticulous shots, kind of stationary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, yeah, it got like the whole like coolness and suave of Bond down.
Rather
It
than
was
making it kind of fast-paced action.
Yeah, exactly. It made it more of a Bourne film than,
Yeah.
than a Bond.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
And then also it was mostly directing for me, but also just the writing was kind of
It was Quantum of
too
Solace was
fast-paced.
so needlessly convoluted.
Yeah. It
I was
just-
like, well, we were with one of our friends, and every 5 minutes he would ask, "What is going on?"
yeah, and justifiably so.
Yeah,
like,
and we weren't mad at him. We
Yeah.
were like, okay, yeah, we get it.
It happens.
Yeah, but like the basic plot, like if they went back and maybe if Sam Mendes did it, like that might be like a very good Bond.
If they
movie.
rewrote the script.
Yeah, if they if they took that like main just whole Bond is
concept.
getting revenge,
Yeah.
and then something like that, but they
True.
just gave it to like Sam Mendes and another writer,
Right.
I would have been happy.
So Ryan Reynolds posed in his Deadpool costume
They,
recently,
Excellent.
and
Dude,
it looks awesome.
I just love it's like the what's his name?
What?
The guy from
From
I don't know.
fair enough. Anyway, he's posing by the fire, and it's sexy.
No, it's
Ryan Reynolds is just beautiful.
He is. I saw him in The Voices recently. Did you see that movie yet, Jack?
I still need to see it because Anna Kendrick and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
But it looked
Oh.
really good.
Anna Kendrick and Ryan Reynolds?
It's about Ryan Reynolds is a sociopath and he kills people.
Yep.
Oh.
I really want to see
And
it.
his cat and his dog talk to him. And his cat is the evil person and his dog is the
Is
good person.
he schizophrenic?
Yes.
Okay.
Burt Reynolds. That was his
He looks
name.
like Burt Reynolds.
No, that's like the picture. Have you ever seen the Burt Reynolds, like him on a bear rug
Yep.
thing?
Yep.
Like that reminded me of that. I think it was. Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, the voices looks really good. And I
Yeah,
wanna see
and
it.
I mean, I'm hyped for Deadpool because if there's like a Marvel character that I really love, it's probably Deadpool.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you not like Deadpool?
Yeah, exactly.
His
He's just
fourth
funny.
wall breaking, his obscene, crude humor,
Mhm.
everything about Deadpool's awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of fourth wall breaking, has anyone watched House of Cards?
No.
No?
Cricket.
Cricket.
Talk about House of Cards, Fran.
House of Cards? Okay.
I would try not to get into spoilers, though.
Okay, yeah. No, I can. So basically, House of Cards is the way that you hope politics is never actually run. Basically, it's just this... So they've been trying to do analysis of it because there's a lot of Shakespearean overtones in it, and they're trying to figure out, like, which one it follows. It's kind of Macbeth. Like, he takes down people and he replaces them, and he's just terrible and evil, but it's also kind of like Othello, and, like, the way that he cuts and does, different, like, takes, because everything is, like, to the audience. Like, there's a lot of asides. And just...
Really?
Oh, yeah, that's the entire premise of the show, mostly, is he's doing all of his things. He starts out as the majority whip, which is basically, if you work in, I believe it's the House, you have to, get votes if you wanted something to pass, and you have to have 2/3 majority.
Obviously.
And this one person, who is usually picked by either party is, like, that side's whip, and their job is to go through and get votes from everyone and make sure that certain things pass and certain things don't.
Right.
And you have to do, like, a ton of, like, side dealings and tradings with people to get them to vote for whatever.
And so there's a lot of asides? That's so awesome.
Yeah,
because I actually haven't started this show. I really want to.
So, it starts, like, he'll have monologues to the audience where, like, you'll be in an office, they're not an office scene, you'll be in, like, the Oval Office, and you'll have, like, the Secretary of State, the President, and him. And they'll be discussing, relationships with China. And then he'll turn to the audience and he'll, like, say something, like, snarky, and then he'll go back and he'll just screw everything up. Because
That's awesome.
Because his endgame is basically...
Joker?
Not even.
Chaos.
His endgame through the entire series is he wants to be president.
Right.
So the way that he does it is just the craziest way. Like, all of this stuff happens in season 1, and you're like, okay, it kind of makes sense. Like, you're evil and maniacal, but okay, all of these things kind of fit together. And then season 2 just happens, and you're like, oh, you did all of that. Because it's just, like, if you look at, like, how things are, like, linked together and just, like, overarching, just there's so many ties to so many things.
Right.
And just, like, he'll do a very subtle thing, and then, 10 episodes later, that one thing he did that didn't seem that major will just cause whatever shift.
Right.
And it's just...
It seems I heard season 3 was significantly less good than
I'm only
other seasons.
5 or 6 episodes in, and it's decent. It's not... I mean, he gets his goal at the end of season 2, so season 3 is more just him maintaining it.
Right.
And I mean, like, that's interesting because the way that he sets himself up as a character is you never know what the actual side of him is, because, like, the person that he is to politicians is not the person that's in the aside, who's not the person that's when he's manipulating his childhood to, like, there's, like, a part where, like, he's writing a letter to someone, and he brings up, like, his father and how abusive he was and all these things, and it sounds like it's a truthful story, but then in the back of your mind, you're like, it's like, I understand that this probably happened, but is that what happened, or are you twisting it?
Right.
Because everything he does is twisted.
Kevin Spacey.
And Kevin Spacey does this accent, and it's Southern, and he maintains it perfectly. Like, I hadn't seen that many Kevin Spacey things before I saw House of Cards, and now, like, if I watch anything else, it's just like, why are you not doing this accent? It's like...
That's so weird, because I'm just so used to, like, Kevin Spacey voice.
Yeah,
like,
true.
I wouldn't...
So, so would you recommend House of Cards to, like, everybody?
It's very good. I mean, it might be a little bit better for people that are into, like, politics, just because getting through season 1, if you're not really into politics, can be a little bit rough, because a lot of the stuff that they're doing is just, like, it's politics based.
Right.
So you're like, oh, why are they trying to, pass
Did they
this
simplify
bill?
it at all?
Oh, yeah, no, it's completely simplified, but it's just kind of like, you're like, what's the big deal behind, like, this water bill? And then you understand later that it's, like, a whole power trip thing, and it's, like, him and his wife. But yeah, basically him and his wife are Lady Macbeth and Macbeth, and they just have this master plan that just unfolds.
I mean, I love political dramas, political thrillers. I watched this show on Starz a while ago called Boss.
Ooh.
That I don't think anybody else ever saw.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
It was so good, but I only saw season 1. I didn't catch season 2, but, like, I didn't know that I loved political thrillers. Like, The West Wing would just be on at my house when I was a kid, and I would just watch The West Wing, and then I saw Boss when I was, like, older, and I was like, this is so good.
House of Cards is just... It's the complete opposite of West Wing. Like, you look at West Wing and it's like what you wish politics was like, and then you see House of Cards and you're like, oh dear Lord, I am never going to politics ever.
Yeah.
Like, this is this is the worst possible thing I could possibly
Political
imagine.
dramas are so cool, but it sucks because you can't really express how cool political dramas are to, like, the average person, because it's like, I love watching politicians.
Yeah.
And they're like, what's so cool about that? And it's like, I don't know. I really don't.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, and then there's like another side of Frank. Like, there's, you know, like the people in his office, and then there's like what the country sees. And like, there's like 6 different versions of him, and all of them you're just like, which one is the real Frank?
Netflix shows.
Oh my god. There's one aside though that he does at the end of, I think it's the end of season 1. And they set it up really well because he doesn't do one for like 2 or 3 episodes. So you think that, oh, they're just like phasing it out as a tactic. And then just he looks in the mirror and it catches the camera and he's like, you thought I forgot about you, didn't you? And just your stomach drops. You're just like, oh, I thought you did. I was not expecting this.
Netflix shows have surprisingly awesome quality to
They
them.
do.
Like, I've seen a few episodes of Orange is the New Black.
Amazing show.
And I've also seen, I forget what it's called. It's about a mobster hiding out in, like, a northern European country. But I forget what it's called. But it was really good. And they have, like, Peaky Blinders, that Western show that they're putting out. They have Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, which is apparently really good.
I need to watch that.
Yeah.
And, like, they're putting out so much content.
We should marathon that soon, actually.
Yeah, we should. That'd be awesome. I gotta finish Parks and Rec first, though.
Yes, you do.
Ooh.
What are you on, season 3?
Yeah.
Wait, what part of season 3?
The very beginning.
Wait, I think we're at the same spot if you want to watch it together.
Okay, good.
You guys are the worst at watching TV shows. I don't understand. What is
'cause
it
I like
been,
movies.
3 months?
I like movies.
It shouldn't be that hard, man.
I'm a physics
The only
major.
TV show.
We have a lot of work and exams.
I really think we just shouldn't have run. I'm not feeling it, Connor.
Hey man, I don't know what to tell you.
God damn it.
Anyway, so yeah, we should just do like an aside to the audience.
More of a gym face. If you could see my face right now, it's the gym face from The Office. To the camera, and no.
But yeah, I don't really get invested in TV shows the way I do in movies. The last TV show that I felt incredibly invested in was Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
That's why I'm wearing my
have the shirt
Heisenberg.
today,
I have
yes.
a Heisenberg shirt on right now.
Yeah. You look
Yeah.
pretty good in that one.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
So
Welcome, man.
I remember one time I just saw a dude on the street and he was wearing like Los Hermanos Pollos shirt, and as I saw it, and I was like, I need to talk to you about this because I think I was the middle of season 4, like it was right before everything with Gus, and I was like, we need to. I'm like, I'm at a high tension point. You're wearing the
Jack
shirt.
Jack hasn't seen
Where are
it.
you? You haven't seen it?
Jack hasn't seen any of it. He's lame.
Have you not started the show?
What?
Have you started the show?
I'm on season 2 as of
He was
2
watching it
years
with his
ago.
brother, and then his brother just took off without him.
Who does that to a person? I'm just like, Dee, I'm ready to watch it. I finished all my homework, and I'm like, oh, I'm on season 5. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Awesome. Haven't watched it since.
Like, why haven't you watched it? You have a You're sitting
I
there
will
with a
rewatch
laptop.
it with you.
I will absolutely rewatch it with you. If we start from season 1, I will gladly
Oh my
rewatch
god,
it with
yes,
you.
please.
It's my summer thing.
No,
Jack.
this is our thing now,
Jack.
Jack.
You can't take that away from me.
Too bad, we just did.
It's my Breaking Bad.
Moving on. Transporter.
Transporter refueled.
Transporter is an awesome. This is like the action movie podcast.
Yeah.
we brought you on for like the worst podcast.
Thank you.
Talking about Commando and Die Hard and Transporter.
I watch a lot of action movies. I just haven't seen those 3.
You should see Die Hard.
You should.
No, I've seen Die. Wait, no, I have seen Die Hard. I've
What's
seen
Die
Die
Hard?
Hard.
The original?
Yes.
Okay.
Have you seen Die Hard 3?
No.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I've only seen Die Hard and A
I
Good
think
Day
I've
to
seen
Die Hard.
Die Hard and
Watch
Die Hard 2.
Nobody watches Die Hard 3. That's like the strongest.
Okay,
other
is
than
is
one.
Die Hard 3 kind of just the movie that they know is bad and they just completely commit to it?
No, it's amazing.
Isn't Die Hard 2 bad?
What? Die Hard 2 is bad. Yes.
Right.
That is one you
Jack,
don't need
if
to
you
watch.
want to talk about Die Hard, Jack knows all
Yeah.
of the Die Hards really well. Like, strikingly
I'm
well.
telling you, just Die Hard 3 with Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis trying to solve riddles, it's the greatest thing that ever was.
I love
It
Samuel
sounds
Jackson
horrible.
trying to solve riddles.
It
You're selling
sounds
this movie.
horrible, but it is actually amazing.
Dude, A Good Day to Die Hard was awesome, though.
It was.
Justin Long was actually good.
No. It was actually really good. I was happy. I wasn't expecting much from it, but it was just very good.
Yeah.
It was different, but very good. And then 5 was just... I don't like to talk about it.
Neither does Mike. Mike is, again, a huge Die Hard fan.
Refuses.
Huh?
Refuses to talk about
He
it?
hates Die Hard
I
5.
don't
He
know
wrote
what
a
would-
paper.
About how much he hates Die Hard
Yes.
5?
I'm reading that, but I don't know what happened. Like, 4 was so good.
Again, like I talked about in the beginning of the podcast, the amount a director can influence a movie.
Oh, did they change directors? I didn't realize.
I think they did.
It definitely looked like it, but I just wasn't sure.
I mean, that happened in Harry Potter.
It's true. They did. And all the Harry Potter movies, that's why people have like clear favorites and everything. Because of the...
Well, how many directors were there? I thought there was only 2. Were there multiples?
I know that for the last couple, there was one director. And I forget the name of the director. But
At the beginning, they kind of switched it around.
Because the first 2 was 1, and then they changed the director, they changed the Dumbledore character, and they changed like the complete like cinematography, like the approach that they took to the movie.
4 is personally my favorite movie.
4 is best.
Personally, like just from like, having like a book to film representation, like the first and second movie, just the lighting and like the like feeling of the movie was very spot on to Hogwarts.
Yeah,
Everything
absolutely.
else felt very cold and distant, which wasn't really a fan. Like I didn't really enjoy that. As
You're a
fan.
huge Harry Potter fan, so
I am, yes.
should probably preface that.
True. Jack made fun of me one day because I found a thing on Pinterest that was Harry Potter weddings.
And she made me look at them. That's the thing.
Because it was a ring and a snitch. That's amazing.
The director
That
of Harry
doesn't-
Potter and the
no.
Sorcerer's Stone was Chris Columbus.
Chris Columbus.
I don't...
Oh, wow. He's doing big things after that whole America incident.
Hilarious, Jack.
Ha ha
Get it?
ha.
He also did The Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah, he did the first 2 movies.
And he also did The Goonies. So...
That's weird.
Or maybe he was in The
Okay.
Goonies. It just says
Oh, he was
known
in
for.
the Goonies?
I hate the known for thing
Was
on
he
IMDb.
Chunk?
He was totally chunk.
He was Chunk.
The known for thing on IMDb sucks. 'Cause
Oh, no,
like-
it's awful. Like, okay, great.
He was in this, but
He
I
was
don't know
part of it.
what he did in this.
Yeah, he could be Chunk. He could be the director. We don't know.
Okay, he directed Home Alone. That's a thing.
Which one? Wait, first Home Alone?
Both, first and second.
Oh, okay.
But that makes sense.
Thank
That makes
God.
sense.
Mrs. Doubtfire he directed.
Yeah, all of those movies have the same. Yeah,
Solid.
they all the same style.
He's directing Pixels,
What's Pixels?
the Adam Sandler video game movie that we talked about last week.
What?
You can't go from Mrs. Doubtfire to Pixels.
He also directed, oh man, he's on a downward spiral. He
Oh.
did I Love You, Beth Cooper.
That's a great movie.
I had
though.
never seen it. And then
It's
he
a
did
good movie.
Percy Jackson, The Lightning Thief,
Oh no.
and then Pixels. Pixels might be great, but I'm not holding out much hope for it.
So like the thing with I Love You, Beth Cooper is it's kind of like one of those movies that you go in watching it just to watch it because it's like a teen movie and it's like gonna be funny.
Is Michael Cera in that movie?
No,
it's a bigger nosed, cheap.
I mean,
Michael Cera.
it's like
But
yeah,
it's good.
it's like the same style. It's like one of those movies that you have to just watch to enjoy.
Right.
You can't just like get caught up in it. But it's a great movie. It's basically this kid. I forget what his last name is, but he sat behind this girl named Beth Cooper like all of high school, and they were in all the same classes. And she was super popular, and like they never really talked, and he had this huge crush on her. So when he gives the valedictorian speech, his last line is like, "Oh, and by the way, like Beth Cooper, I've been in love with
Aw.
you like forever."
That's sweet.
And then basically the movie is like,
so enthusiastic.
she like comes up to him after graduation, and she's like talking to him. And then his friend, who's like constantly trying to get him like with girls, is like, "Oh, we're having a party tonight if you want to come." And he's like, "We're what?" And then they come over, and it's just them hanging out all night. But it's just they go and do all this crazy stuff, and you just have to watch it just to be like, yes.
Right.
It's a total summer movie too.
Yeah. So, Jack, I was going to talk about this last week. There's a lot of stuff that I ended up talking about last week because Nick and Chris deterred us so hard. Oh my God.
I'm glad.
They did a sabotage last week.
Yeah, they spoke to me about it.
Really?
And I
They-
gave them
and
the
you were
green
like-
light. Yep,
Yeah.
I was excited.
Occasionally they like to sabotage me on the podcast.
What do they do?
Well, Chris and Jack bagels it up one time.
Bagels?
Warm
Yeah.
bagels.
What?
They saw Taken 3, and apparently bagels was a big part of it.
Huge part.
Oh, I've heard about the bagels.
The
Yeah.
cornerstone of the movie. Just
And
that
so
masterpiece.
they just
That
like
masterpiece.
sabotaged it with bagels.
What do you mean sabotage? Just they said bagels?
Listen to the podcast. I can't.
I need Chris here. I can't sabotage this
Exactly.
again.
You can't do
Damn
that.
it. Chris, come back.
But last time was
Christopher?
it was a re-record because we screwed up. And so the entire time they would just lean into the mic and be like, "Lost podcast." It's the Lost podcast. And I was like, "Okay." So I didn't get to like half my topics.
I'm proud of them. Okay.
So, anyway, the Ex Machina trailer.
yeah.
I've been meaning to talk about that for a few weeks now.
That's been out for a bit, right?
I am really excited.
What is it?
Yeah.
It's called Ex Machina.
What's that?
It's Oscar Isaacs, who was in A Most Violent Year and other things.
Inside Llewyn Davis.
Right. Yeah. It's about him and some other guy basically testing, again, with the AI. Wow, this podcast is like so full circle. We're going full circle on a lot of things.
Brilliant.
Basically, Oscar Isaacs develops this new AI and like has this guy test it and things like that, but then it goes wrong. Just watch the trailer. The trailer is amazing.
Yeah.
The trailer was so good.
It just looks pretty, like, as well.
It does, yeah. It looks really like well made.
Yeah.
And apparently it's the first time directing from the director there.
Oh, really?
So
that's impressive.
I'm so excited for it.
Yeah.
It might bomb. It might bomb terribly.
Is it indie or is it going wide release?
Wide release, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, that's good.
But it looks awesome, and I'm ready to see Oscar Isaac in more things.
Is it coming out soon?
Yeah, mid-April, I think.
Oh, I'd watch that. Yeah.
Yeah, Oscar Isaacs caught my interest in A Most Violent Year.
I think the guy from Frank is in that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really good in Frank.
Not Michael Fassbender, the other guy.
No, the weird wimpy redhead.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm hyped for that.
Mm.
I'll probably post the trailer in the link dump below.
Yeah.
So last thing, we talked about Laser Team a while ago, and they released a full-length trailer for it. And Jack is not he doesn't watch Rooster Teeth all that much.
Rooster Teeth. I have respect for you.
Yeah,
I just don't watch it.
He just doesn't watch it all that much. So when I was talking about Laser Team, he was like, "Oh, this like crowd-funded movie that is probably not going to be all that great."
I was skeptical.
He was skeptical, to say the least. He saw it.
It's hilarious.
It's so good.
I really want it now.
The full-length trailer is like, do you watch Rooster Teeth, Fran?
What is it?
Rooster Teeth? Do you watch them?
No.
Like Achievement Hunter and all those things?
Mm-mm.
Well, like they crowdfunded this movie that they're making.
Wonderful.
And they made like some like $3 million, I think. Something million.
I don't know.
And
it's a casual billion. It's fine.
But now they're making this hilarious movie. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I recognize some of the people in it.
From Rooster Teeth, yeah.
Just from other, there's this guy from Parks and Rec who comes on once in a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, is it the guy from New Girl, too, right?
No, I can't watch New Girl.
I love New Girl. But it's the guy from Animal Control.
The big guy.
Yeah, big guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I forget his name, because when they were filming, they would talk about him all the time.
Yeah, he just seems really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it looks awesome. It's because I actually did support the movie.
Yeah.
Alan Ritchson, that's his name.
All right.
I supported the movie on Kickstarter, and yeah, I am glad to see that my money is going to such an awesome thing.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
It just looks like so funny.
Yeah.
I have to say.
So do you have anything? I think we're probably gonna do like one more thing, and then we'll probably call it time here.
Oh, they released the cover for Set of Watchmen.
For Go Set of Watchmen, that's right.
Set of
Showed
Watchmen.
me.
Yeah, it was really cool. Fran, have you seen it?
No.
I shall.
It
bring
looks
that up.
awesome.
Yeah, it has that To Kill a Mockingbird feel, but it's just
because it's like
really
it
cool.
kind of harkens back to the old cover too.
Yeah,
Of
with the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's got a train. It's got a train on
I haven't
it.
read that book actually.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
Wait.
No, wait. Oh, I have read To Kill a Mockingbird.
I was like,
what's Go Set a Watchmen?
The sequel.
Oh.
She's making she wrote a sequel, and it is now being published.
Oh, I was gonna say I read that.
It is that one.
Oh, okay. So it's a book. It's not a movie.
Mm-hmm.
It is a book, yes.
Excellent.
And yeah, gonna be posting that in the link dump.
I am reading that. So
I am reading that quicker than you.
Yeah, it comes out July 14th.
July 14th.
I think you can pre-order at Barnes and Noble.
Awesome.
I have yet to do it, but yeah.
That's exciting. Anyone know when Salinger stuff is starting again?
Ask Jack because he's the guy to talk to. About
I check every day, and they have nothing. I am very close
To emailing the publisher with an angry letter.
I think you should.
Very close.
And be like, you don't understand,
They
sir.
It's just the last announcement was in 2013, and they said it'll come out sometime 2015. I haven't heard about it since, but yeah, I'm getting angry.
We're like
Right
halfway
now.
through.
Yeah, oh my god, I've been waiting so long.
Jack
All
is
right.
ready.
I'm angry. Okay,
And on that note,
yeah,
I'm gonna do my plugs.
all right.
So
Plug those things.
follow us on SoundCloud for all the most recent podcasts. I should just write a script for my plugs, so
You
I don't have
should,
to
yeah.
come off the dome with it every single time.
Yeah, just read it in monotone.
Yeah. So follow us on SoundCloud for all of our updates on whenever we release a podcast. such as the Suburbanites Podcast every Sunday and the Watchmen, a movie podcast of occasionally conflicting opinions, the first Monday of every month, so that'll be coming out next Monday.
The 6th.
And we are watching Pulp Fiction for that.
Ooh.
That's going to be hype.
Yep.
I will join, if I can join.
It's me, Jack, and Chris are on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I meant watching the movie.
Like, oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give
No,
me
you're not
context.
allowed to watch this movie with us.
I don't know if she should be allowed. It's not. Hey, Fran.
Hi.
Okay.
I know, I'm not cool enough. It's
I thought you were
not
talking about the
working
podcast. That's like stagnant. But
No.
Facebook. Follow us, like us on Facebook, facebook.com/the Suburbanites Podcast. And that's where we like post all our like most recent updates and everything. Like last week I had to post that our audio file got corrupted, so we had to re-record and release it the next day. So if you want updates on that, like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter for our little tweets, update things.
We have a Twitter.
We also, we have Twitter.
Twitter.
Twitter.com/suburbanitespod or @suburbanitespod. Well, yeah, Jack is mimicking the motion I did for tweeting.
It wasn't tweeting, it was typing. It was very weird.
It was
typing.
feminine.
Thanks.
And I think that's it. Again, thank you very much for listening this week, and we will see you next week. I'm Connor.
Jack.
Fran.
And we'll see you next week.